light. Alright, well, it's recording. And that light, there you go. Jeez Louise, guys. Welcome back. What a way to start the show. To the Friday podcast with your host, Chris Chaos, aka Cholo Charlie Brown. Nah, I'm just kidding. Shout out to House of Chingazos, that's .com. That's where you can find the shirt. Shout out to Kiwi. Shout out to y'all. I miss y'all, but I've been pretty busy in my personal life. But it's been good. Hopefully y'all been good. I missed y'all. The channel has still been building. Trying to send positive energy. I love the positive energy I've been received. It's amazing. Much love. So, middle of summer. Last day of June. We're really into the thick of it. Today, me and my son went to a place that may not exist in a couple of years. It may be history. It may be in the history books. That place, my friends, is Best Buy. So first, I went to Half Price to sell some comic books, whatever. And then next door, there was a Party City that was like 80% off. I don't know if all Party Cities are closing, but that one's closed. I was like, hey, let's go see if there's any candy. There was some like gummy tacos and gummy pizzas and stuff like that. But I really wasn't trying to ball out on those, even though it would have been kind of cheaper, but I only made a couple bucks selling some comic books. So I wasn't trying to spend more than I made at the store next door. So we got some like a gummy lizard that was like 50 cents, which ended up being like a quarter. Pretty good. And then we were leaving, and there was this couple of people that were selling us basically timeshares for starving kids, like the ones that are at like in other countries, and then like you send $1 a day and like get to your bank account. And basically, that's $30 a month when you end up looking at it. I don't have $30 a month to be giving. I told him, I was like, yo, I'm a teacher assistant. I need donations too. Excuse me. My son was there too. He laughed. I was like, good back. So I talked to them a while though. I let him do the spiel because he had a hat that said veteran. Hopefully he was an actual veteran. If not, fuck it. But I was like, the girl, there was a girl with him that was like, started speaking Spanish to me. It was a Caucasian white dude, white chick. I love all colors, all races and whatever. But she's like, hablas español? And I was like, yeah. So we started talking in Spanish, and she was like, oh, I was like, that's dope. And she said, oh, I thought you were gonna be like surprised. And I was like, nah, everybody speaks Spanish now. I'm not surprised. She's like, I worked hard at that. She's like, I want some credit. I was like, oh, my bad. It is difficult to learn in this language. And then she ended up saying that she worked in Mexico, in the Yucatan. Nah, I don't know where she said. I'm lying. I think I'm just saying that. Teaching kids in Mexico. And I was like, oh, that's badass. I said, that's badass. And then the dude had a veteran hat that just said veteran. I was like, that's bad. I was like, you're badass too, man. Thank you for serving for your country, bro. So my son seeing all this, go down. The girl's like, oh, you're a sweetheart. And then he started telling me about this stuff, and she kept telling me about herself, like about all these things. And I was like, hey, are you selling this or are you selling yourself? Now, I didn't mean in the way that it was taken, but in the way that it was taken, she didn't get offended. She was like, she said both, but it's kind of weird because your son's here. And I was like, yeah. I was like, and she just started laughing. I was like, whoa. I said, so she misunderstood what I meant. I meant like, I don't know what I meant. Like when you sell yourself as a businessman. I'm a business. I'm selling myself every Friday. I'm trying to sell myself as a product. So that's kind of what I meant. That's what I actually meant. Like, are you selling? Like, are you the business? What's going on with you? But she took it as, are you selling yourself to? And I was like, and it took me a minute to realize it. And I was like, oh. And then But everybody was cool about it and shit. So I told my son later, I was like, I think she misunderstood what I meant, but shit, you're man. Anyway, that was awkward. Before we went into half price though, that we heard the girl, she was talking to some this tall black dude, and she was like, "Dang, bro, you're tall." And so, and me and my son looked at each other and laughed. So I mean, she was really trying to sell that product. There was cool people. It was cool people. It was a cool interaction. But he was getting me through the process, and I thought he was just gonna send me like an email. So I was like, "Fuck it, let them get." So they showed that they were actually working and shit, right? Answered a couple questions. But then it got to the point where it was like, oh, it's gonna be this $1.33 or whatever a day, and I was like, I was like, nah, man, can't do that. I'm gonna have to deny. I'm not gonna be able to do that. But I appreciate it. You know, God bless y'all. They're very, very nice, funny people. And so after that, we went to a Best Buy because I was like, shit, I ain't really got bread to spend, but it may not exist one day, so. And it was cool. We played a Kirby racing game on the Nintendo Switch. And I got to, for the first time ever I played, it's so fucking weird to have, one player has to have two controllers. I guess it's similar to the Wii, when you had the regular controller and then the little joy thing. But even that was kind of weird. But at least it had like weight to it. These little things are so fragile. My brother said that his brother has broken so many just by like, because they're so like, and it's all right. But I like the other one better, the actual, what's the name? Like a classic all together controller that's not fucking in pieces and shit. That's what I like. I don't know. But yeah, I said whenever Nintendo comes out with another system, then I get the Switch. Because I had a Wii U, you know. So yeah, it was pretty cool. We walked around there. The workers were pretty nice. Couple nice. My son's a handsome dude, so you know, we're very blessed. I shouldn't be bragging. I'm not trying to brag. But it was like, so these two girls that worked there, one asked her, she said, "Hey, y'all doing okay?" And I said, "Yeah, we're good. We're just looking. Appreciate it." 2 seconds later, I know she heard, but this other also pretty, you know, she was like, "You sure y'all," like, but not like in the, but maybe they all have to say it. That's probably, see, that's me. That's me being conceited. My bad, I fucked up. But I had to say it out there because I told my son, I was like, "You see that?" Right afterwards, she said, "If we needed help." And I said, thank the Lord I'm a man of Christ, because you know, otherwise I'll be, you know. But now that I'm thinking about it, they all probably have to, because I could be a secret shopper. And I'm sure they yeah. Fucking idiot. This guy. All right. Anyway, so after I got sick, partied too hard at a bachelor party. Went to the wedding. Wedding was badass. And then, like, I guess my body was still kind of sensitive. Excuse me. So that week I ate some Popeyes for lunch. And then I ate some Papa John's for dinner. Maybe it's because of the peas. You can't mix peas when it comes to fast food because that shit fucked me up. Now, it wasn't necessarily the Popeyes itself because my son had Popeyes. He didn't get sick. Papa John's, my mom had some Papa John's. She didn't get sick. So it was my sensitive ass that had the reaction. Man, that shit laid me out for days. I couldn't eat a couple days. I couldn't, you know, it was just, man, that shit. And I was like, I couldn't smoke. I couldn't, it was just water and sleep. I couldn't eat. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just had to make sure that I was like, I'm not going to fucking dehydrate and just force myself to drink, you know, some water. And then just lay where the fucking can, the trash can, so you can just throw up into it. Sorry if you're eating breakfast or something. Sorry. Again, I need to stop apologizing, but my, you know, whatever. That's my anxiety. Let me double check the camera real quick before I keep going, since I'm the only one in here. Yeah, we're good. Oh, man. Oh, no! We're bad. So bad. All right, we're back. fuck? And the light turned off. That's cool. But we don't need the light. I kind of want the light back. But anyway. Alright. So, I'm also going through another situation I can't talk about right now, I don't think, because it was like a car accident, and it wasn't my fault, but they're trying to say it's my fault, and I might have to play detective and go to the gas station where it happened in front of and ask for the video. I was like, y'all, I told my son, I was like, we're gonna be like the boys, man, like Huey and Butcher. We're gonna get some information. But yeah, anyway, so other than that, things are good, you know. I've just been focused on being a dad right now. A good dad and a good man. Me and my son spending more time together is good for both of us. He's 14, I'm 34, and it's just like we both need each other to check each other. So the first day that he came, appropriately, we watched Boys in the Hood. Badass movie, man. That shit had me warm. When they got Ricky, spoiler alert, when Ricky got shot, man, I was almost blubbering. I don't cry ugly, I just like, but it was good. I got to show him some I got to show him some classic movies now, like Blood In, Blood Out, you know. And there was another one that I showed him that was like, you gotta watch this one, because he's already seen some classics like Next Friday. He put me onto The Boys and Invincible. So those shows blew my mind. Those are incredible, especially The Boys. Man, I'm gonna have to do a fucking show review on that one later on in another episode, because like I said, I got one set up. But The Boys fucking changed my life. And I don't know if I would have watched it if my son hadn't put me onto it. Time to Xavier. Alright. Random questions. Have you ever stood up for anyone? From 3,000 Questions About Me, number 1891. Oh, that was probably an interesting year. I was just reading Common Sense. Pretty interesting book. Yeah, there's one time when I was working at Levine's, I had a homeboy that would go up there, and when he wasn't he used to work there, and then he stopped working there, but he would go and hang out, you know, a little bit, but just a few minutes. Sometimes he would buy something, sometimes he wouldn't. And the manager, one of the managers at the store at the time, was this old dude, and his mom, like old, no offense, but he was very old, and his mom was even older, and she would go up there and they would just talk in the store for hours. That's fine, right? I didn't give a fuck. But for some reason my ass was like, oh, okay. So then one time he tried to tell us, hey, homeboy can't come to the store no more. Like, don't let him. I was like, what? I was like, how come? Because he just be talking. I was like, nah, he be buying stuff. I mean, not every time, but sometimes. And he don't talk for that long. So and I said, you and your mom be over there talking for like hours and shit. So I got in trouble. But they weren't even going to fire me. But I was like, fuck it. Before they fire me, they just gave me a couple of days off. Before they fire me, I'm going to put my 2 weeks. So I put my 2 weeks, and I needed to get out of there. That store was dying. It was just, I was there too long. I met a lot of cool people there and re-met, like my homeboy Vino. And I met Knowledge there, and my cousin got to work. It was a great spot. Good memories, but it was my time to go. But that's when I stood up for somebody that I can remember. What do I do with that pen? What do you think is worse? Failing or never trying? Fucking never trying. 1893. How high? I didn't know where this question was gonna go. Can you jump? We just watched that one too, so I was like, this is a hip hop class. Cause I'm also looking for fucking free movies right now. American Me's not free on anything. A lot of these movies aren't free. Casino's not free. How high can you jump? Let's find out, bro. Let's see if we're still recording. be able to jump a lot higher. I don't know. Pretty high, guys, but not super high. Yeah, How High was pretty cool, man, with Cypress Hill in it. I gotta do a movie review of that one too. Damn, I do the pen. I know I threw it over here in a cool fashion. Others. Alright, what book have you read that made you really think about life? Yo, shit, a lot. But alright, let's say this one right here. The Gnostic Gospels. This made me change my... It just added to the knowledge and love that I have for God. And it was beautiful. But of course, I suggest reading the original first. But I think also this book kind of, which I'm going to do a review, A Badass Woman in History. Because this book was badass too. Made me think, when you learn about her life, it makes you think about your own, because it's like, you put yourself in her shoes in certain situations. And she's a gangster. Alright. Let's see. If they were going to name a street sign after you, what would you want the name to be? A street sign? Oh, I guess like Chris Lane. Chris Chaos Circle. Chris Drive. It'd be cool if it was like, and then it's like the least chaotic street ever. It's like a small small slight turn. It's like that was it. That was Chris Chaos. It's like road, drive, street, lane. I don't know what the fuck that was a weird question. What's the most creative excuse to get out of doing something you didn't want to? I mean, creative? For me, man, my life is, I live in, I don't live in extremes, but my excuses are usually legit excuses. Like, I mean, I've had like social anxiety where I'm like, I just can't show up to us. I feel like I'm doing better now, a lot better. But back in the day when I was younger, my early 20s and shit, I was like I regret not going to my cousin's wedding because of my anxiety. Yeah, sucks. But we're good, we're still good, and it's all good. All you can do is get better and not dwell on your past. You also got to forgive yourself on certain things. If you became a writer, what would you want to write? Man, music, shows, comic books, whatever you think, man. Well, that's pretty much it. Damn, these hoes. This is about to run out. Do you wear sunglasses indoors to look cool or stylish? Fuck no. Couldn't if I wanted. Unless, no, it looks like it because when I go outside and I come back inside, my lenses still look like sunglasses because they change. Which fictional married couple from TV or cartoons best fits your parents' marriage? Married with Children. Alright, I'm going to take a break. We'll come right back with angel numbers and such and such. Yeah. Alright, we have returned. I don't know why it's not making a noise when it records. Angel number of the week, or weeks, 484. Astrology.com says that on a spiritual level, 484 represents the manifestation of your highest potential. Sorry, I need to change my glasses because these have blue light protector. These do not. That's better. So 484 represents the manifestation of your highest potential. It's a reminder that you have the power to create the life you want, and you're being guided towards your true purpose. Embrace this divine guidance, and trust that you are exactly where you're meant to be. Numerologynation.com says 484 is about happiness and life improvements coming in the form of big changes. I Feel that one right now. It may be a sign that abundance and perfection are possible. Ministry of Numerology.com says that 484 conveys love, cooperation, unity, and support from spiritual guides. It is associated with success through collaboration, hard work, and balance in life. The combinations of numbers 4 and 8 represent practicality combined with manifestation power to help one succeed in any area where positive changes are made. Psychic-readings-guide.com says open-mindedness is what 484 symbolizes, open-mindedness. It also says that people that connect with the energy of 484 tend to be highly cultured and prefer to be around like-minded individuals. As a result, they attempt to bring about significant cultural changes in their community. Powerful. And finally, angelmanifest.com says that 484 tells you about love. Try to convey your feelings and feelings. Try to convey your feelings and feelings to the other person. I think that was a typo. It's probably try to convey your feelings to the other person. However, if you are dissatisfied with the other person, try not to talk straight. When you express your gratitude, then you tell it as it is. That's an interesting one. The last one is from Angel Manifest. That was interesting. Take everything with a grain of salt, baby. All right. So couple weeks ago, I saw a swallowtail butterfly. It was beautiful. I was driving down Levon Drive and heading towards the mall. Excuse me. So swallowtail butterfly, this is from bugunderglass.com. Common cultural depiction, spirit animals. Common cultural depiction often use swallowtail butterflies to represent the grace and free nature of the ineffable human soul. Ineffable. The fuck is ineffable? Because it sounds like non-fuckable with, but I don't think that's what it means. Ineffable human soul. But maybe it does. Let's see. I'm gonna look that up. Ineffable. Excuse me. Ineffable definition. I'm on the mission. Pay attention. I just saw a heron flying through the sky, looking fly, like a fucking fly, but more flyer. It means incapable of being expressed, indescribable. So common cultural depiction often use swallowtail butterflies to represent the grace and free nature of the undescribable human soul. Other concepts associated with swallowtail butterflies are hope, endurance, change, and life. Spiritualdesk.com says, that's desk. The swallowtail butterfly is believed to represent transformation and embodiment of souls who have crossed over to the spiritual realm. It has also long been an animal that symbolizes joy, freedom, and the honor of the soul. Spirit and Symbolism.com says this delicate winged insect is said to represent the resurrection of Jesus and the cycle of rebirth. Its transformation from caterpillar to chrysalis to a beautiful butterfly mirrors the journey of spiritual transformation that many Christians undertake in their lives. This is, I guess, this is the Christian version of it. All right, that's about that right there. So butterfly symbolic meanings from Spirit and Symbolism.com says inspiration, intuition, higher consciousness, transformation, resurrection, flashes of insight, power of beauty, strength, and vulnerability. That is, it almost sounds like that's not possible, but there is strength and vulnerability when used properly. Not always. Because being vulnerable is not being strong. Usually, vulnerable, it depends on what you're, because vulnerable means like, are you vulnerable like you have easy access to get attacked, like, or vulnerable like your emotions, but, all right, anyway, I'm just rambling. Specific butterfly species may carry additional meanings. So this person who wrote for spiritandSymbolism.com for the swallowtail. So the tiger swallowtail, also totem, means to integrate one's power. It says, did you know that the tiger swallowtail has 2 color morphs, black and yellow? Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. That's OCD, I gotta do that. You know what it is. I didn't know until recently that all males are yellow. Only the females sometimes appear in black form. Also, only the females of both color morphs sport the beautiful silvery blue crescents on the bottom edge of their back wings. It speaks to me of the special connection women have with the moon. And whether you're a man or a woman, the ability to balance and honor both the solar, which is masculine and proactive, and the lunar, which is feminine and intuitive aspects of your inner being. That's what this goes into, the feminine and masculine aspect of God. It talks about that. It's pretty dope. Dope in a cool way, in a good way. Yellow, which represents the color of the sun, warmth, light, vitality, action. Yellow is also the color most associated with the solar plexus chakra, the power center of the body. I think that's somewhere around. It's not this. This is red, so it's probably the stomach. Whoa, and that's what was. I have to treat it better because I was eating too much fast food and bullshit and putting garbage in here and not treating it good. And it reacted that way and it punished me. Luckily. Because it allowed me to wake up and be like, oh, okay, you're not invincible. You're not. And then put invincible. With the blood. All right. Black. The color of night, rest, dreams, that which is hidden. This is the realm of intuition and regeneration. With its vivid black and yellow stripes and dots, the tiger swallowtail is what, I guess, the one I saw, speaks to us of integrating these 2 aspects of ourselves. Black on yellow, yellow on black, rhythmically interspersed with each other. This is the rhythm of the universe. Day, night, in breath, out breath. Wake and sleep. Traditional cultures honor this rhythm. They set aside time to rest, time to pray, and time to heal. Our society tends to put a premium on action at the expense of rest. It's a 24/7 world now, and many of us push ourselves ruthlessly to keep up. That reminds me, I'm going to say it right here, right now. I think my next unless somebody already has it, on June 30th, 2023, my next EP by Chris Chaos is going to be 34/7, as in like 24/7, but 34/7. I'll explain later. Do you find yourself running on caffeine-laced fumes, routinely pushing through to find your second wind? It's good to test our limits once in a while, but we weren't meant to do it day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. We think it's a sign of strength, but sooner or later, people who do this hit the wall, burnout, adrenal exhaustion. Tiger Swallowtail reminds us to honor our natural rhythms. Feeling blue or in a black mood is often just our body telling us to take it easy for a bit. If you find yourself feeling tired, cranky, or sad, give yourself permission to let down for a while. Schedule downtime in your calendar. Take an hour or a day or a week off if you need it. No offense to men. What's he about to say, guys? But I think women have to be especially aware of our body's need for rest. Oh, it's a lady speaking. At certain times. By honoring it, we honor ourselves. Yes, it means acknowledging that we are vulnerable. Because, society likes to make it seem like nobody needs, men, women, if you don't, and she's saying we all need to, really. I don't know why. I mean, I can't speak from that perspective, but whoever's writing this is female, it seems, identifies as. But when we embrace that vulnerable side of ourselves, love it, and give it what it needs, that's allowing ourselves to tap deeply into our power to revitalize our lives so we can take wing as the beautiful souls we truly are. Holy shit, that was badass. All right, let's see what the dream meaning was of the week. Because I already forgot. Shout out to H2O. Having a dream. Okay, so when I was having my fever dreams and shit, one of my fever dreams was like, 'cause I was kind of hungover and fucked up from this party, from the bachelor party. And I kept thinking about Shane Gillis on the Matt and Shane Secret podcast when he was talking about being hungover and Chris O'Connor was there, and then he woke up and Chris was gone. He was being by himself. And it's like that feeling of being by yourself and hungover is so lonely. And it's like an intense feeling. And anyway, so I was thinking about that probably when I was falling asleep. And then I dreamed about being in an interview on Matt and Shane's Secret podcast. So that was pretty tight. But then they changed. As soon as the interview was over, like we just chatted. Like we were just shooting shit. Apparently I had sent Matt question, and he's like, yeah. I was like, you don't want to get into these questions? I was like, oh shit, I forgot about the questions. And he's like, yeah, if you want, we can still do them. At that point, they changed into the dudes from Beer Fest. Fuck, what was their group name called? I did a whole thing on them. It went the Beer Fest dudes. Sorry guys, the Super Trooper guys. What the fuck was their name? Anyway, so they turned into them, and then I was like gonna start asking them questions about the movie Broken Lizard, but that's the name of the comedy group. And so they turned into them. It turned into a couple of those dudes, and so I was gonna start asking them. So anyway, basically, I know that it's not the first time I've had a dream about celebrities, and I know people dream about celebrities. So that's what this dream interpretation of the week is: dreaming about celebrities. So hackspirit.com says you seek inspiration. Celebrities have the power to influence us. So it's not unusual when we dream of a celebrity, especially when we are looking for inspiration or are desiring to emulate some of the characteristics attributed to that celebrity. This is the most common reason behind celebrities making an appearance in our dreams. Now, Matt and Shane, Shane Gillis and Matt McCusker and Broken Lizard, these are comedians. So, I want to be funny like them. DreamsDirectory.com says hanging out with the celebrity in the dream suggests your desires to cling on and live in the past. You are feeling small or overlooked. Definitely I was feeling sick as shit in those moments when I was dreaming that. You will be rewarded for the good things you have done for others. This dream states your feminine and delicate side. Whoa. Synchronicity with the swallowtail butterfly. It's a weird. What was it called? What was the real name of it? Because swallowtail just sounds bad. Now that it said feminine. No offense to anybody. I mean, it is. I'm just saying. Swallowtail. The black and yellow ones are the tiger ones, I think. Tiger. Still a swallowtail. Whatever. Because it has a tail like a swallow, the bird. Just that swallow. I just keep saying swallow. Jack Swallow. Oh, no, sparrow. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. DreamsDirectory.com says hanging with a celebrity in a dream. Oh, wait, I didn't finish. Feminine, delicate side. You are also very family oriented. Yes. DreamsDirectory.com says hanging with a celebrity in a dream is a symbol for sadness and remembrance. Someone is helping you, either emotionally or financially. You need to challenge yourself and prepare for the obstacles ahead. Your dream is a message for your efforts in achieving your goals, ambitions, and material gains. DreamAboutMeaning.com says hanging out with a celebrity dream is a harbinger for high ideals, hope, and insight in the current situation. It is okay to let loose once in a while. You are giving birth to a new idea or project. Signals indulgence, sensual pleasure, and satisfaction. You are giving up control of your body, your own body. If you dreamt about hanging out with a celebrity, these could be possible meanings. That's from dreamsaboutmeaning.com. Kind of random. Another one from dreamaboutmeaning.com says, dream about hanging out with a celebrity is an omen for emotional secrets or activities. You are in need of some relaxation. You need to stick by your words and actions. Your dream is sometimes your ability to cut things or people out of your life. Perhaps you may need to slow down. Yes. After Definitely need to slow down after the about slip out of here. All right, we're gonna take a break, and then we're gonna do anxiety news, ladies and gentlemen. Right back. Right back. Oh, I fucked it up. No, what is it? Anxiety news with your host Christopher X Chaos. This week from Hackensack MeridianHealth.org. This was published June 13th, 2023. This was recent whenever I was getting ready to do the podcast, but got sick and stuff. It's all good. So it says anxiety is one of the most common mental health disorders in the U.S. Fortunately, several effective strategies may help make your anxiety more manageable. Let's see what they got to say. Some people who experience anxiety may benefit from these habits with or without therapy, says psychiatrist Eric Alcera, MD, Network Medical Director for Behavioral Health at Hackensack Meridian Health. Other people with anxiety disorders need therapy, but practical habits should also help. If you're hoping to decrease the effects of anxiety, try these practical habits. Number 1, adopt healthy lifestyle habits. When you take care of yourself, you should cope better with stress and anxiety. These good for you habits should help you manage anxiety. Eating a healthy diet. Healthy whole foods provide the nutrients you need to function optimally. Staying well hydrated. Drink water throughout the day to avoid dehydration, which can lower your mood. Exercising regularly. Physical activity helps to boost your mood, clear your mind, and reduce anxiety. I've been trying to exercise every day, and I've been doing it at least this past week, and I do feel better. It is what it is. Let's see. Getting ample sleep. You'll feel more positive and less anxious when you're well rested. Limiting your alcohol intake. Some people drink to feel calmer, but they feel anxious when it wears off. Keeping a journal. Writing down your feelings may help you realize that they're less overwhelming than you imagined. Listening to music you love. Music can relax you, distract you, and remind you of happy memories. Finding meaningful ways to de-stress. Maybe saying no to extra responsibilities or uncluttering your house may ease your anxiety. Cleaning, bro. Some people are able to adequately manage their anxiety with lifestyle changes. Dr. Alcera says, making these simple changes may have a significant impact on your daily life. Number 2, stay in the present. Being in the moment helps you to reduce anxiety by helping to limit unhelpful thoughts. You can't worry about the future or regret the past while focused on the present, motherfucker. Try these strategies to stay focused on the present moment. Count backwards from 10 to 1. Count down slowly, focusing on your breath when you need to calm down. This simple exercise should help distract you from worrisome thoughts. Interact with your pet. Cuddling or petting a furry animal member, family member helps you relax, focusing on the moment. Spending time grooming, playing with, or talking to your pet should boost your mood. Play a music instrument. If you play the piano, guitar, flute, or drums, play something from your repertoire. You'll focus on the pace and the flow of the music instead of anxious thoughts. Focus on your breathing. That's crucial. But they don't teach you how to breathe. Now they're kind of teaching kids how to breathe in school, but just some, it is in some schools, in some classes, which is pretty dope in a good way. Focus on your breathing. Notice the air entering and leaving your body, how your chest rises and falls. If worrisome thoughts enter your mind, focus on your breathing instead. Practice yoga. During yoga, you focus on breathing and holding your body in different poses. This relaxing practice helps you slow your breathing and heart rate, reducing stress. Focusing on breathing and practicing yoga incorporates some aspects of meditation, Dr. Alcera says. If these strategies help you reduce anxiety, consider practicing mindfulness meditation. All right, so far I agree with Dr. Alcera. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but whatever. Number 3, no, it's no offense to, maybe whether I am or not. Like, nobody means to be rude, I don't think. Yeah, all right, I'm rambling again. Challenge your thoughts and feelings. It's important to recognize that your feelings about yourself or your circumstances aren't facts. To challenge the thoughts and feelings that make you feel anxious, think about whether your perceptions are accurate, based on what others see and say. Replace negative thinking with positive thoughts. Keep a gratitude journal, jotting down 3 positive thoughts per day. That's pretty tight. That sounds interesting and fun. Read your gratitude journal when you need reminders about the positives in your life. If you still need help decreasing anxiety, make an appointment with a therapist. Talk therapy and or medication can help manage an anxiety disorder. Challenging your internal thoughts sounds simpler to do it than it actually is, Dr. Alcera says. You may need a therapist's help to challenge your long-standing negative beliefs. All right, I respect that. That was pretty badass. We'll be right back. Oh man, I'm buckling my belt and shit. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen, with show review, series review of the month or week or whatever. Yes, I'll go to the movie. Hopefully they don't sue me. Alright, welcome. It's not movies today though. We're gonna talk about a series. A wonderful series. Beautiful series. One of the best series ever created in my opinion. So, Vikings is a historical drama television series written by Michael Hurst. Excuse me. For the History Channel, which happens to be a Canadian network. Filmed in Ireland, premiered on March 3rd, 2013 in Canada. The series concluded December 30th, 2020, when the second half of the 6th season was released in its entirety on Amazon Prime Video in Ireland, ahead of its broadcast on History in Canada from January 1st to March 3rd, 2021. Blah, 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 blah. A sequel series titled Vikings Valhalla premiered on Netflix on February 25th, 2022. Vikings is inspired by the sagas of Ragnar Lothbrok, a Viking who is one of the best known legendary Norse heroes and notorious as the scourge of the Anglo-Saxon England and West Francia. The show portrays Ragnar as a farmer from the Kattegat who rises to fame by raiding England from the Kattegat, which there's a Kattegat now, but it's like underwater, so I think they're trying to say it's like that was it back then. Who rises to fame by raiding England and eventually becoming a Scandinavian king with the support of his family and fellow warriors. In the later seasons, the series follows the fortunes of his sons and their adventures in England, Scandinavia, Kievan Rus, the Mediterranean, and North America. The series is inspired by the tales of the Norsemen of the early medieval Scandinavia. It broadly follows the exploits of the legendary Viking chieftain Ragnar Lothbrok and his crew, fam, descendants, as notably laid down in the 13th century sagas Ragnar's Saga Lodbrokr and Ragnar Sona Pater, as well as Saxo Grammaticus's 12th century work Gesta the Norm. Norse legendary sagas were partially fictional tales based in the oral tradition, written down about 200 to 400 years after the events they describe. Further inspiration is taken from historical sources of the period, such as records of the Vikings raid on Lindisfarne depicted in the second episode, or Ahmad ibn Fadlan's 10th century account of the Varangians. The series begins at the start of the Viking Age, marked by the Lindisfarne raid in 793. The year 793. So let's see. That's season 1. It was fucking dope as fuck, classic. It's slow. It starts off kind of slow, but immediately it's like, whoa. Slow, but immediately it's pretty dope. I think the action doesn't start. I mean, there's a little bit of action in the first one, which is a good way to start it because they do start with action. Literally. Season 2, 10 episodes. 2 new series regulars were announced. Alexander Ludwig, who portrayed the teenage Bjorn, Linus Roach playing King Egbert of Wessex, because in season 1 they only go to Northumbria, so they don't go to Wessex yet. The second season undergoes a jump in time, aging the young Bjorn, played by Nathan O'Toole, into an older swordsman portrayed by Ludwig. The older Bjorn has not seen his father Ragnar for a long period of time. Lagertha remarries to a powerful Jarl. Stepfather provides harsh guidance to Bjorn. Edvin, Andre, and Anna Ostrom signed up for roles in the second season. Endre had the role of Erlander, one of King Horik's sons. Season 3. Let's see. Season 3. See, now I don't know. I think season 3 was Paris. Season 4 was the Mediterranean. 5 was the Sons of Ragnar, and 6 was also the Sons of Ragnar. Apparently, the nudity and sex scenes are regularly edited out for American audiences. For example, the sex scene between Lagertha and Astrid in the 4th season episode of The Outsider only showed them kissing. The scene continued for airings in other countries and on home video releases. Let's see, what else? So there's funny parts, right? It's like The Boys. It's not, I mean, I don't want to compare it to The Boys, but there's violence, there's hate, there's revenge, there's love. The action is cool, the skilled fighting. There's no superpowers, but you know, all throughout history, there's been people who have been skilled in certain aspects more than other people, and so it sticks. There's a lot of realism, but there's a lot of fantasy, but not fantasy like as in the Dragon one, House of Dragon or whatever this shit. No offense to anybody, but I never watched Game of Thrones. So Vikings was compared to Game of Thrones, but Vikings is more, in my opinion, more because it's actually based on certain historic scenarios, whereas Game of Thrones is all fictional. So, you know, there's no dragons in Vikings. The only dragons are on the heads of the Viking ships. Many characters are based on or inspired by real people from history or legend, and the events portrayed are broadly drawn from history, as I was just saying in my layman terms. The history of more than a century has been condensed. People who could never have met are shown as of similar age, with history amended for dramatic effect. Season 1 leads up to the attack on Lindisfarne Abbey, before the real Rollo was born. In season 3, the same characters at roughly the same ages participate in the siege of Paris of 845. So these main events are correct. Like the siege of Paris was in 845, and Lindisfarne was attacked in 793. By this time, Egbert was dead and King Aethelwulf was already on the throne. Rollo was shown having his followers killed and fighting his fellow Vikings, whereas in history they were granted what became Normandy and continued to cooperate with the Norse kinsmen. Little is known about Viking religious practice, and its depiction is largely fictitious. When Catherine Winnick was asked why she licked the seer's hand, she answered, "It wasn't originally in the script, and we just wanted to come up with something unique and different." The showrunner Michael Hurst said, "I especially had to take liberties with Vikings because no one knows for sure what happened in the Dark Ages. We want people to watch it." Now, I didn't know this was the Dark Ages, but I guess because not a lot of people were writing history then. We want people to watch it. As a historical account of the Vikings would reach hundreds, occasionally thousands of people. Here, we've got to reach millions. In the 4th episode of the 2nd season, the Bishop of Wessex is shown inflicting crucifixion as punishment for apostasy, while it had been outlawed more than 4 centuries earlier by Emperor Constantine the Great, and it would have been blasphemous for the Christian population. Interesting. There's also some comic books that came out. There's like 4 or 5 that came out based when they were, I think, season 2, when they were in Wessex, and they did a mission for Egbert. And then there's another set of books. There's like 4 or 5 books that was based in after the siege of Paris, before Ragnar disappears. That one's pretty cool because it's because of that. Because you know how he, if you've seen that, you know, no spoilers, but that second siege of Paris was unsuccessful against his brother Rollo. And so we don't know why or when he left. We just years pass and you see everybody grown up and you're like, where's our father and shit? Or our father's gone and we find out that our people got killed in England and he didn't tell us and blah, blah, blah. It's an amazing show. I've watched it several times. I think it's good for everybody. It shows positive women roles. I mean, it shows negative. It shows like reality, like how some of them are treated, but it also shows like how the Vikings had like Lagertha. They were shield maidens, so the women were encouraged to fight as well in society, which is pretty badass. All right, Vikings, 5 stars. Check it out, baby. We'll be right back. Let's all go to the movies. Hopefully they don't sue me. All right. I forgot to close the door to the studio. If you don't like it, you could kiss my booty hole. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, that's a bad way to start. Badass woman in herstory. No offense to anybody. Badass woman in herstory. Lagertha. Lagertha, as imagine. Oh wait, that's just describing the picture. So Lagertha, according to legend, was a Viking ruler and shield maiden from what is now Norway, and the one-time wife of the famous Viking Ragnar Lodbrok. Her tale was recorded by the chronicler Saxo in the 12th century. According to the historian Judith Jesch, Saxo's tales about warrior women are largely fictional. What? Other historians wrote that they may have a basis in tales about the Norse deity Thorgerd. I think they're trying to just take credit away from women in herstory. I think they're trying to say that that's fake, but I think that's bullshit. I think it is real. Her name, as recorded by Saxo Lathgertha, is likely a Latinization of the Old Norse Lagerth. It has also been recorded as Lagertha, Ladgertha, Ladgerda, or similar. Life according to Saxo Grammaticus. According to the Saxo, Lagertha lived in the Gola Valley in western Norway. Her tales recorded in passages in the 9th book of the Gesta Danorum, a 12th century work of Danish history by the Christian historian Saxo Grammaticus. According to the Gesta, Lagertha's career as a warrior began when Fro, king of Sweden, invaded Norway and killed the Norwegian king Sigurd. Fro put the women of the dead king's family into a brothel for public humiliation. Hearing of this, Ragnar Lothbrok came with an army to avenge his grandfather Sigurd. Many of the women Fro had ordered abused dressed themselves in men's clothing and fought on Ragnar's side. Chief among them, and key to Ragnar's victory, was Lagertha. Saxo recounts, Lagertha, a skilled Amazon, who, though a maiden, had the courage of a man, and fought in front of among the bravest with her hair loose over her shoulders. All marveled at her matchless deeds, for her locks flying down her back betrayed that she was a woman. Impressed with her courage, Ragnar courted her from afar. Lagertha feigned interest, and Ragnar arrived to seek her hand, bidding his companions wait in the Garlar Valley. He was set upon by a bear and a great hound, which Lagertha had guarding her home. But he killed the bear with a spear and choked the hound to death. Thus he won the hand of Lagertha. According to Saxo, Ragnar, see, back then you didn't have to get no diamond ring. You just had to kill a bear, kill a wolf. It's all good. According to Saxo, Ragnar had a son with her, Freydleif, as well as 2 daughters whose names are not recorded, unfortunately. After returning to Denmark to fight a civil war, Ragnar, who, according to Saxo, was still annoyed that Lagertha had set beast against him. Yeah, he was holding a grudge, had a chip on his shoulder, because he was like, no, I didn't have to get no diamond ring, but I did have to kill that big ass bear. That weighs on me. You know, I dream about that bear all the time. So he divorced her in order to marry Thora Borgjort, daughter of King Harald Sweden. He won the hand of his new love after numerous adventures, but upon return to Denmark was again faced with a civil war. Ragnar sent to Norway for support, and Lagertha, who still loved him, came to his aid with 120 ships, according to the Saxo Grammaticus. When at the height of the battle, Ragnar's son Sigurd was wounded, Lagertha saved the day for Ragnar with the counterattack. Lagertha, who had a matchless spirit, though a delicate frame, covered by her splendid bravery the inclination of the soldiers to waver, for she made a sally about and flew round to the rear of the enemy, taking them unawares, and thus turned the panic of her friends into the camp of the enemy. Upon returning to Norway, she quarreled with her husband and slew him with a spearhead she concealed in her gown. Saxo concludes that she then usurped the whole of his name and sovereignty, for this most presumptuous dame thought it pleasanter to rule without her husband than to share the throne with him. I mean, I don't blame her. Saxo sources. According to Judith Jesch, the rich variety of tales in the first 9 books of Saxo's Gesta, which includes the tale of Lagertha, are generally considered to be largely fictional. Hater. In portraying the several warrior women in these tales, Saxo drew on the legend of the Amazons from classical antiquity, but also on a variety of Old Norse, particularly Icelandic, sources, which have not been clearly identified. Saxo's depiction of women warriors is also colored by misogyny. Like most churchmen of the time, Saxo thought of women as only sexual beings. To him, the Viking shield maidens who refused this role were an example of the disorder in old heathen Denmark that was later cured by the church and a stable monarchy. But they admitted they existed, so I don't see what Judith Jesch is tripping about. Oh, Lagertha is probably fake. Okay, but there was women that were warriors. They just had some influence from the Amazons, like Wonder Woman. A woman called I can't pronounce that. Let's see what it's copying. Let's see how that sounds on here. Let me try to read. Let's see, copy. Hey, let me copy it, bro. Right click, copy, paste it, right click, copy, paste it. All right, let's see, pronunciation, I don't even know, pronunciation. All right, let's see what they say. I wonder if it's gonna just. I should just went to Google, man. DuckDuckGo be tripping sometimes, bro. All right, let's hear it. Algelder. All right, yeah, Algelder. A woman called Algelder, who rules the Aldeyar, also appears in the sagas of the 6th century Skliding king Halfdan, who was in the show, but they portray Halfdan as the brother of King Harold Finehair. Halfdan is a cool character. See, it's also like good for like, because it shows how the Vikings weren't as uptight when it came to sexuality as the Christians were and are sometimes. When Saxo describes Lagertha as flying around, oh wait, I didn't even finish. Oh, she gives him 20 ships to help defeat his enemies. Hilda Ellis Davidson, in her commentary on the Gesta, also notes suggestions in the literature that the name was used by the Franks, for instance, by Ludegard of Vermandoy from 914 to 978, and that the tale of Lagertha could have originated in Frankish tradition. Who knows? Only Lord knows. When Saxo describes Lagertha as flying around to the rear of the enemy, he ascribes to her the power of flight. Oh, so they meant literally. I don't think they meant literally, bro. I think they meant like she was flying, like she was running fast as fuck. According to Jesch, indicating a kinship with the Valkyries. I think you're taking that's a reach, but maybe, whatever. The tale notably recalls that of Kara, the Valkyrie lover of Helgi, Haddingzgati, who flies above Helgi in battle as a swan, casting spells in his support. Excuse me. Identity with Thorgerd. Davidson deems it possible, as Nora K. Chadwick considered very probable, that Lagertha is identical with Thorgerd, a goddess reflected in several stories. Thorgerd was worshipped by, and sometimes said to be wed to, the Norwegian ruler Hakon Sigurdsson, from 937 to 995, who lived at Lade, or Halader. This may be the origin of the name, the one that we said earlier, Halader. The Gualar Valley, where Lagertha lived according to Saxo, lies nearby and was the center of Thorgerd's cult. It was also, according to Snorri Sturluson, the abode of Snorri Sturluson. Snorri, he was Snorri. He wrote a lot of the Icelandic sagas, which is about Ragnar and the sons of anything that's not in the Saxo Grammaticus from the Saxons. He wrote. It was Snorri for the Norse. So she was portrayed in fiction several times. Kristen Pram's historical drama Lagertha in 1789 is based on Saxo's account. Whoa, that came out during the Revolution. The choreographer, in that time period. The choreographer Vincenzo Gagliotti based his ballet Lagertha from 1801, the first ballet to feature a Nordic theme, on Pram's work. That's pretty tight. And then, of course, in Vikings, which you talked about over there, she's portrayed by Catherine Winnick, who actually knows how to fight and shit. She was like a trainer, and a trainer for actors to know how to like fight good, and she became Lagertha. Baddest woman in history. All right, so we need to bust the flow, ladies and gentlemen. We need to find a beat with some heats for the streets. Put on your cleats. Running for the ball. Man, I'm about to ball. Man, I ain't fall. Man, you wall. Line up the wall. Haters talk shit. They can't get close. I'm like a pit. Bull. Damn. Fool. Slam. Tools into their face until they understand they disgracing. Man, they got their mind and their heart racing. I got them tasting. Steal. Understand what it means to be killed. Understand that we know what's the deal. Gotta keep it too motherfucking real. Chill. Man, what's the deal? Coming up the block with a motherfucking pill. But it's for anxiety, man, just chill. It ain't no crazy shit. I'm for real. I'ma keep coming up, going up the hill. King of the hill like damn what, Arlen. People keep going, man. Stay harder. I'ma keep going. I'ma keep flowing. People talk shit, but they just ain't knowing. Man, I'm a king in my own dang right. People talk shit cause they know I'm tight. Man, I go hard. Man, I go clean. I'm like a what? Motherfucking machine. Flowing so hard. Flowing so cold. I'ma leave your ass in the middle of the road. People talk shit. People talk shit. They can't hold it. Love y'all. See y'all next time.